all those people who were injured, if they can pin any of the charges on Wade, then Wade will be held responsible for those people's injuries. Dynamite! Dynamite! Alright. Hey guys, how you doing? My name's Hero. This is the Identity Booth. A little bit of a somber note. The thing that is kind of crazy going on right now is, once again, police are finding it difficult to do their jobs without brutalizing people or killing people or shooting them. And when these things happen, we have to make sure we don't desensitize ourselves to it, or it'll fall into the back line of our mind, and then we end up with a more tragic situation, if you can call it more tragic, where we get someone having their life taken from them in 9 minutes and 48 seconds, and it leads to a summer full of protests during a pandemic. Like, we can't have these things happening anymore, and the easiest way to stop them is just, police don't kill people. Let them have their day in court. But in this rare situation where in Arkansas we had a cop who shouldn't have been a cop beating the life out of somebody. In Denver, 4 officers who have never fired their weapon in the line of duty shooting 6 people and stuff like that. Hey, welcome to the stream. I appreciate that. Clap it up. I think we have to have some semblance of like sanity or some semblance of like understanding. I appreciate that. Welcome from Argentina. Oh man, that's awesome. We have to have some way of talking about this. So let's just first dial out. And I remember in the last segment, I didn't even change it because I just want that to resonate with you. I went to go look up this story. So I found this story. I found this ability to talk about it. I was like, wow, okay, I'm ready to talk about it. Then I looked into it, and it literally was of a different shooting that happened on a different day, and it involved officers still not hitting their main target. So let's just watch this video to get a better understanding of what happened. This is the perspective from the inside, where the fight apparently took place. But as you can see, they fired those shots into that group of people right here in front who had nothing to do with it. It's the complete disregard that is really mind-numbing, because what's stopping them from just, taser? And the thing about it is crazy is he threw his gun away. The shooting happens here. He throws his gun away. And for me, it kind of goes hand in hand with like the whole notion of what is this training for these officers looking like if they can't handle themselves in this situation. They're looking for a suspect who apparently got into an altercation. There was no mention of a weapon or anything. They tell him to put his hands up. He puts his hands up immediately. And they still unload and then manage to hit multiple people while there. Right? So let's take a look at the article in question. And I know there's a lot of people who are going to be like, oh, was his hands really up? Was his hands really up? Yes, his hands were really up. Yes, his hands were really up. I don't know where this notion comes from. But multiple officers fire at Wade, forcing him to fall. The great thing is that he survived. The bad thing is numerous bystanders seen crouching mere feet from suspect as he was shot. This is just crazy to me how they could shoot into an open crowd. Like, look at all those people who have nothing to do with it. And if you remember in the video, there's an officer inside the bar. So it's it's like insult to injury in this situation, right? Details go as follows. Wade was shot at 7 times. Clark. Pre-recorded video released on Tuesday alongside the footage. Clark said that an officer shot 4 rounds around another 4 another fired 2, and 3 fired a single round. The officer who shot at Wade once did so while a crowd was standing behind the suspect. But Clark said the officer told investigators he worked to get a clear line of sight before firing. That's clearly a lie. Clearly a lie, right? So we can see them lying and they can't help themselves. They really can't help themselves because, they're under the gun and they don't want to hold themselves responsible. So we'll hold them responsible. Body camera footage was released in accordance with the state law, which mandates unedited video related to officer misconduct complaints be released 21 days after such an incident, per Denver Public Safety Office. Wade was injured but survived, now faces multiple charges. Several witnesses say officers shot randomly into a packed street, and things are this is going to escalate. I'm super interested to see how this plays out, because all those people who were injured, if they can pin any of the charges on Wade, then Wade will be held responsible for those people's injuries. But the thing that's kind of crazy is, should Wade be held responsible for the neglect of those officers, right? Should he be held responsible for that? And I honestly believe no. What you saying over here? Joe says, Joe, you talking about what's the criteria for a mass shooting? The criteria for mass shooting is 3 or more injured during a shooting, and some type of 3 or more injured, I believe, is the criteria. 3 or more injured in a single shooting in a single area. Yeah, I believe that's the criteria. Hey, Just Kenny, what's good? Clap it up. What's good? What's good? Covering the news. Happy to see you. But